Hi, everyone. This is Mary Esther Miranda Gilbert here, nutritional physiologist, nutritional healing specialist, and I am welcoming everyone back to my channel. Tonight, we're going to do something a little bit different, and I thought it might be a little bit fun and a lot more interesting, maybe. We're going to be going over some really bland, maybe even bad for you recipes as far as baked goods, and how I'd like to share with you how I used to transform plain old recipes like that were actually bad for you and substitute ingredients that turn them into a meal and a muffin or a cookie or something really guilt-free and totally didn't give you a sugar rush and made you feel totally nourished and sustained you for hours. So this is the kind of stuff that I used to do for my family, and I haven't done that in years. Of course, my family's all grown up now, but I really miss doing that kind of baking. My, at the time, well, he turned into an ex-husband and he's since passed away. But when he was my husband, when we were married, he used to devour. I used to make maybe 4 dozen of what he called mud cakes. They were just oatmeal cookies, but they rose and they looked like scones, but they were packed with nourishment. And so he used to just eat them all up practically in a couple of days. And I would say slow down, slow down, but he never experienced any sugar rushes and he always had a lot of energy. So I thought I'm going to share some of those recipes that I used to do with everyone tonight. So I hope you'll find it really fun. So, okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to pull up my document here for you. All righty. Okay, so like I said, there's a couple of topics. They're both kind of short, so I didn't want to spend a lot of time on trying to keep everybody awake. I know that the things that I put out can be a bit technical sometimes, or maybe me liking a lot of detail. I kind of, I fill in all the gaps so that people get a really good all-around education when they come here to watch my videos or to come to the meetings like my members are here with me. So this time I'm going to try to keep it a little bit shorter so that we can keep everybody on the call. And while I'm at it, please remember to like the video. If you like what I'm presenting here, if you've seen my other videos on my channel, please don't forget to like, because that puts the video in front of so many other people who are actually interested in this kind of thing. YouTube is really smart with its rhythms, of course, and it's going to put this kind of thing in front of other people. So I'd like to really build up my channel. It's growing slowly and steadily, and I'm really happy to see that, because that tells me that people really are liking it. I just have to get the word out there, get the True Health story out there to as many people as possible so that they can improve their health and just continue on to the point where they have achieved True Health Mastery. So this is the True Health Mastery Institute, and this is exactly why I started it. So I just wanted to just kind of remind everybody to please like and share if you would, if you could, and subscribe, because it's a free channel, of course. And so if you subscribe, then you'll be notified of all the videos that we post every single week. All right, so moving on. All right, transforming ordinary sweets into superfood nourishment. Hi, Yvette. Okay, and then the next topic is going to be beware of nutritional health advisors. Are they qualified? So I'm going to lay out some guidelines as far as the kind of research that I've done on what others are doing out there and what they're teaching, and some of the shortcomings that I've seen over the last 4.5 decades. Okay, so I'll be sharing that with you as well. So let's get into it. First of all, I want to share my muffin. Now, here's an ordinary muffin recipe, right? And on the left, you see your basic muffin recipe. And so, they say it's always an egg, and it's always a milk or some kind of milk variety. And there's always a vegetable oil, which is very bad. And then they've got vanilla extract, and they don't specify if it's the chemical-laden synthetic version or if it's the natural one that is very nutritious. So the chemical ones, please read your labels out there. If you're doing any baking or if you're going to be using vanilla extract, look at the label and see. And usually just the organic ones don't put any kind of synthetic chemicals that are known to be carcinogenic or on the watch list for being possibly carcinogenic. I mean, if they've made the watch list, then some reports have been coming in to report it, right? Health issues and things like that. So then also they don't specify what kind of sugar. Now, I don't advocate refined sugars at all. So I'll give you the alternative, the awesome nutritional and health protective alternative. So then they specify, flour, but they don't say what kind of flour. And it's usually the white flour, which after they mill this perfectly whole grain, what's left is just the white starch and a concentration of the toxic mineral cadmium. So people have a lot of health issues because of white flour, not only because it doesn't have any fiber in it or any vitamins or minerals that you need to metabolize everything that you put in your body nutritionally, but it also has that toxic metal in it because of the concentrations that end up. Now, every botanical, is going to pick up some kind of elemental toxins, but the molecular and atomic structures where the electrons are flowing is what turns something like that into something that is harmless because of the other augmenting nutrients that are in a growing, highly nourished plant. And that comes from highly nourished soils that don't have any pesticides and other pollutants in it. So they, the soils are usually very, very nutrient rich, which produces very nutrient rich, healthy plants. Okay, so that's the whole thing. See, there's so much behind all of these ingredients that people are putting into their foodstuffs. I don't consider them foods. They're foodstuffs because they're just not good for you. They cause more problems than the short-lived satisfaction someone might get from, having something that satisfies their sweet tooth. Baking powder, make sure it's aluminum free. I don't know if they make aluminum baking powder anymore, but that was a real problem before. Now that can lead to nervous system problems and all kinds of things. And salt. So if you're using a salt that has sugar in it, like dextrose, then you want to eliminate that. And also, if you're using a salt that's not kosher, then there might be some toxic elements in the mineral substances that make up the salt. So if it's just sodium chloride and it's kosher, then you're okay. There's other salts out there that have a lot more nutrient value, but we'll talk about that. All right, so let's move on to my transformed muffin recipes. Everybody ready for that? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and so as you can see on the left, there's a few ingredients, right? But on the right, it's going to end up with the same consistency in the muffin, but there's going to be so much more nourishment in it. So now I'm always advocating organic because organic foods are so much more nutrient rich, and as that goes for the egg. So an egg may not have the right essential fatty acids in it if the poor animal, the poor chicken, has not been consuming healthy foods, right? Healthy feeds or free range and eating the foliage or other insects that are feeding off the healthy foliage in that kind of environment. So organic is always better. They're going to be more nutrient rich, more minerals, more of the essential omega-3 fatty acids that are so very important. So an organic egg, even though it's a bit more expensive, it's going to be worth it. Your body's going to love it, and you're going to be rewarded with optimal health. All right, so that's just the first ingredient. Okay, I'm not going to try not to just elaborate too much on every single one of these. So the next one is going to be a half cup of milk. Again, organic milk. It could be whole milk, non-fat milk, low-fat milk, or any of the plant milks. Whatever milk you like will absolutely go very well in this muffin recipe. So then, instead of the vegetable oils, which are sometimes they're using vegetable oils that don't have the right balance of omega fatty acids, and so you're going to get too much of the, say, omega-6s versus the omega-3s. And if you have too many omega-6s, even though they're essential in our diet, if you have too many of them, they can cause so many problems, inflammatory problems, okay, to name one. So instead, just use real organic butter. Our bodies understand organic butter. It understands the cholesterol in it. Our bodies make cholesterol all the time. Our cells, our trillions of cells, are composed of cholesterol. Cholesterol is the precursor to all the hormones that the body has to make. So animal fats are coming back. People are starting to cook with animal fats again. They're starting to use tallow and real butter rather than the plastic kinds of oils that happens when you heat an oil. All right, so now, so as you see, it's the same measurement, right, as the vegetable oil. So you've got that the lubricating value that goes into a muffin. And next, 1 teaspoon natural vanilla extract. Natural vanilla extract, that means organic. Look at the labels and you'll see what I mean. The organic will say vanilla bean extract, period. That's all it will say. But if you buy another type of vanilla extract, you'll look at the ingredients and you'll say propylene glycol. Isn't that what they use for car oil? I mean, please, this is toxic and it's poisonous, and it's on the carcinogenic list of compounds, okay? Cancer-causing compounds. All right, so now let's separate out. So this one on the left says 1/2 cup sugar, and on the right, let's break it up a bit. So now instead of 1/2 cup refined sugar, that could be a genetically modified sugar that contains pesticides and genetic information from insects. Okay, that's what a genetically modified organism when it comes to the botanicals that are out there being sold on the market that are not organic. So you want to stay away from anything that might alter your DNA. There's a lot of science behind that, and I've said plenty of that in my other videos. All right, so now let's look at the sweeteners here. So we've got 1/2 cup raw organic honey. And okay, I'm thinking of another recipe that I'm going to get to. So anyway, this is the only sweetener in the muffin. We don't really need to sweeten muffins, do we? People like to put their own sweeteners on top, like jams and honeys and things like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little bit more of a little bit of a sweet taste for people so that they can maybe not have to put sugar, on top of it or anything else. All right, so now we've got the 1/2 cup whole oat flour and 1/2 cup brown rice flour. Notice that I say whole, that means 100% all fiber still intact, is just ground up, made into flour. So you've got all the nutrients in there that will balance out any kind of toxic metals that might have been picked up by the plant. So these are not going to harm you because down to the atomic level where electrons are donating, electrons to other molecules and they're exchanging information like that at that micro level, you're not going to have the toxic effects because there's vitamins and minerals and there's phytochemical compounds in these plants that will help detoxify it out of there anyway. So it's very minute, and so it's not going to be a problem. All right, I can do a whole other video on this very subject. All right, now, so yeah, looking on the left, the recipe calls for 1.5 cup one and a half cup flour, all-purpose flour. All right, and so all I did was I substituted these 3 types of flour. So you have the same amount, right? Altogether, it's 1.5 cups of flour. So you've got the wheat flour, the oat flour, and the rice flour. And the 2 teaspoons of baking powder, that's fine too. And then 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, and throw that in. And also I'm going to add kosher see, this is why I like to work off the Word document, because if I work off the PDF, I can't change it while I think of things while I'm talking to you. So I'm going to put kosher on here, because there's no such thing as organic. But kosher is a system that ensures that the foods are going to be pure, just like the organic industry does. All right, so now let's add some spiciness to it. Anytime you have a baked good, if you don't have some kind of a spice in it, which is antimicrobial anyway, it helps the body burn fat, speeds up the metabolism. Hello, if you put it in a muffin, then of course you're going to want something that helps you burn, the calories, right, that you take in. So it's guilt-free. All right, so now let's look at, I always add protein powder to all my baked goods. You've got to balance out all that, well, there's not that much sugar, but there are carbohydrates, right? Whole grain flour and the honey. These are all very, very low glycemic index kinds of foods, meaning they won't mess with your blood sugar. All you diabetics out there, this can be a very safe kind of muffin because you're throwing in the protein. Protein helps regulate blood sugar. So let's throw in a 1-ounce scoop or 2 tablespoons of collagen powder, and 1-ounce scoop or 2 tablespoons of whey protein powder. Notice how I don't say milk egg protein powder, because the caseins can, when they get cooked, they get really tough and difficult to digest. So you want the whey, the pure protein that's in any kind of a milk, and people don't get any reaction to if they are lactose intolerant. Okay, so now let's throw in whatever spices you love. If you love pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving, you're going to love this muffin recipe. So 1/2 teaspoon each of your preferred spices. You can throw all of them in there. And of course, you're going to have to tone down, the amount. I mean, maybe a dash of each. Depends on how much you love spices. One time I was baking oatmeal chocolate chip cookies for my family, and I accidentally dumped too much cinnamon in the recipe, and they turned out to be the tastiest cookies you ever had. So, I'm okay with adding a bit more. Depends on if you're having trouble, if you have an ulcer, then you want to tone down the spices. Now, ulcers are an entirely different thing. It's a damage to the digestive tract, and there's many, many botanicals out there that have been shown to repair the tissues in the digestive tract and destroy the microorganisms that cause the rupturing in the stomach lining. That's an aside. Here I go off on another tangent. But anyway, coming back to this, you want to just put in all these antimicrobial metabolism stepping up of spices that are in here. So they are very well researched. They're in my book, Potent Superfood for Lifelong True Health, and I talk about them quite a bit in other areas. So yeah, just throw that in there. So now you've made a complete meal out of the muffin. You've got your fatty acids. You've got your whole grain carbohydrates. You've got the raw organic honey, which is known to alleviate so many things. It's antimicrobial, and I'm working on a nutritional healing protocol for cancer right now. And so the raw organic honey has quite a bit of information about how it has helped scientists discover how it can alleviate or just help the body destroy, the C word. So I have to be careful. I'm on YouTube. I don't want to get knocked off again. I don't want to, just be tagged for trying to practice medicine without a license. No, I'm not a medical doctor. I just teach what the body needs in the way of nourishment. And I have so much scientific data that backs me up on this. So I don't even have to, just try to disprove the scientists that are out there, right? These peer-reviewed studies, these highly organized or highly qualified individuals that make the determination of which studies have been done that are the most credible and valid. So that's what a peer-reviewed study is. So I've done plenty of work on that. So I know what I'm saying. And so I feel very safe in saying that the scientists have indeed found that many of these botanicals have been known to help the body recover itself. And now that's just plain nourishment. Like I said, I'm not making any medical claims, YouTube. Okay? Okay. All right, so here's the instructions. Really quick, just throw all of the dry ingredients together and separate it out with the wet ingredients and just throw those together. And if you don't really have that much time to bake, just make yourself a pre-mix the dry ingredients together. And you can even, if you're going to be baking in a reasonable, a couple of days, then you can throw together the wet ingredients as well. But I like to just mix the wet ingredients, right before I'm going to add them to the mixed dry ingredients. So, what works well for me is just a good old-fashioned bean masher. When I'm mixing the dry ingredients together, I just stir it all up, against the bowl until it's all fine and all one consistency. So you don't have lumps or big pockets of air in your muffins. So, and then you just mix up and beat together all of the wet ingredients so the egg gets, nice and fluffy. So then you mix them together, stir it up just enough to get them wet, and you don't want to over blend anything like that, especially with wheat in it. So, and that's it. You just pour them into your muffin pans. Okay, they can be in the muffin papers if you don't feel like scrubbing your muffin pan. I totally get that. Okay, and just bake for 16 to 20 minutes, and you have yourself a nice dozen muffins. Or you can double the recipe, you can triple the recipe. The proportions are basically the same. So you can make tons of them, and just have your guests, or for whatever reason you're baking, a bazaar, selling them, whatever you want to do. So this is going to be people are going to come back for more, because they're going to say, it didn't give me a sugar rush. I felt so satisfied. I felt so nourished. I felt so energetic. So yeah, you can put things like blueberries and other berries in there too. But you just experiment. It's okay. You will love it either way, and your body is going to love it too. Okay, so that's my muffin recipe. So I'm going to quickly go over the pancake recipe. Now, pancakes are a lot of fun. As you can see on the left side, we've got your typical amount of flour and your baking powder, the white sugar. Why they put white sugar in pancakes, I'll never know, because people like to, drown it in syrups or honey. And then, of course, they throw in the salt because that's supposed to make the sweet taste sweeter. And then 1¼ cups milk and tablespoons oil. I always use oil. That always bothers me. And 1 large egg. So now this transformed super pancake, I call it. So you're going to substitute the amount of flour with spread it out into the 3 types of flour. I use these 3 flours. Now, if you are not lactose, if you can't eat wheat, if you have a gluten problem, then just go ahead and use the oat and the brown rice flour. Those are usually pretty safe for those who are intolerant of wheat. So then the same amount of baking powder, and then raw organic honey. Keep that in your cupboard. It should be a standard thing in your cabinet. And then any kind of milk also. 3 tablespoons of butter. You saw that coming. Melted, of course. And 1 large egg as well. And then, of course, throw in your spices. Pancakes to me are not pancakes. They're pretty bland if they don't have some of these antimicrobial, fat-burning types of spices in there. So you see, and then you just are free to serve it with your dark grade B maple syrup. It's called dark maple syrup now. They used to call it grade B. I think some of them still do, but it's just less refined and it has more minerals in it, and it actually helps regulate blood sugar. So these kinds of natural sugars derived from nature don't do what these refined sugars do. All right, diabetics out there? And also, why not throw in a little bit of protein powder too? I guess I forgot to put that in there because I usually do put at least collagen in there. I don't always have whey protein powder on hand, but the collagen powder, great for your joints, great for your connective tissues, your cartilage. So why not throw that in there as well? You won't taste the difference. You'll feel a lot better. And so you won't get a sugar rush from all of these others. And your body won't tend to convert all that refined sugar into body fat too. So these are great for dieters too. You would think that all these ingredients would cause weight gain. But of course, it's how many calories you take in, how many energy calories you take in versus how many calories that your body burns, whether you exercise or take in foods that help you burn calories or both. That's the most ideal way to do it. So whole grains, all that fiber is not going to allow you to absorb too much fat. It's going to help regulate the blood sugar. So all of these wonderful things are taking place when you use real food and nothing that's in the foodstuffs category. All right, so this is my favorite part right here, because if some of you don't have time to bake, in the time you can put together a sandwich is the time you can put together these super protein energy bars. So, I like to put in whole oats, like the 100% whole flattened oats, okay? And so you want to make sure it's organic so that you don't have the pesticides in there like the other foods, other whole oat categories do, other companies. They allow that kind of thing in. I mean, you've got minute amounts of pesticides in the grains, so you want to eliminate that. All right, so now the foundation is any kind of nut butter, peanut butter, or any nut butter that you may not be allergic to, if at all. If you're allergic to nuts, I am so sorry. You might try substituting seeds, like pumpkin seeds, but it requires a lot more seeds to give yourself that base that you need to make everything stick together. 1 ripe mashed banana to give it nice moisture, and 1/3 cup raw organic honey and a pinch of sea salt. And now just a little bit of flax seeds and some whey protein powder and the collagen powder. I discovered the Organics brand, and that's rated the highest. It has won awards for not having the toxic metals in it, which other collagen powders have been found to have. Now, I did a whole video on that, everyone out there. So look for that one on this YouTube channel and take a look at it. 2 teaspoons real vanilla extract, 3/4 cup mix of, 3/4 cup a mixture of dried fruits or berries like blueberries, cranberries, raisins. You don't want to put the fresh berries in there. They're too moist, and that could ruin the consistency of what a protein energy bar is, okay? So you don't want anything to be too soggy or anything like that. So, and they tend to, deteriorate and you might have some kind of a mold problem forming soon, so you don't want to use anything that's wet in these kinds of recipes. So any kind of dried fruit, I can think of a couple more, that aren't so common, like the goji berry. Those are excellent. And a tablespoon of cacao powder if you like chocolate. You don't have to put chocolate in there. Chocolate sometimes it's pretty adulterated, has the wrong fats mixed in, and who knows what else they put in this stuff. But you just want 100% cacao, organic cacao powder. And if you want unsweetened coconut flakes, if you like coconut, chopped dates, chopped figs, or other unsweetened dried fruits. And it could be like apricots, you can just go crazy with your own preferred taste of your energy bar. And then a half teaspoon of all these spices. And that's what makes an energy bar so antimicrobial. It won't go bad if you have these antimicrobial spices in it. And then you can put in the omega-3 fatty acids in there too. Raw walnuts, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds. Remember to use only unroasted, unsalted, unsweetened, and make sure you keep your protein bars refrigerated, because these omega fatty acids in these nuts and seeds are going to react with oxygen. Keep them covered in the refrigerator. So let me tell you how to do that now. So what you want to do is you mix the ingredients together, all together, and then you press it into either a plate or a dish, or whatever you want, however thick you want to make them. And and then you would put it in the refrigerator and let it harden, and you cut them up into whatever size protein bars you want. They don't have to be the typical, rectangular shaped protein bars. They can be squares. They can be whatever size or shape you want. This is your protein bar. So anyway, go crazy. Just stick to the basic, measurements, and you will have the most delicious and very inexpensive protein bars. Have you ever priced protein bars that are out there? They're very, very expensive, and you get a little tiny little bit, right? You want your protein bar to sustain you. If you don't have time for a meal, then this protein bar is the perfect thing to take along with you. You can even put whey protein powder in there to make you feel less hungry for a longer period of time. All right, it's all about nutritional balance. All right, so that's a basic recipe for super protein energy bars out there. All right, so topic number 2. I'm going to switch, from fun, exciting mode to a little bit more serious here. So this is what I have found over the years. When I compare my work to what other professionals are doing out there, other nutritionists, other wannabe nutritionists. I mean, if you're a chiropractor and you want to counsel your patients on nutrition, please study nutrition for several years. Dive into the scientific literature and know what the body truly needs as far as what foods do and what nutrients do in the body. Okay, this is very, very important. Any of you who own holistic centers out there, if you're in the other holistic modalities, they're all so wonderful. They make you feel amazing. But if you try to incorporate nutritional counseling in there, many times there is so much information missing, and you're unable to help your clients get past their health issues. Okay, so it's very important I'm inviting all new practitioners out there to join the Institute. There's invaluable information that I share with all the time, and the videos that are on my channel here are going to help you to understand what you need to tell your patients and your clients, depending on if you're a medical practitioner or if you are, a holistic practitioner in the other modalities. Okay, now, having said that, now here's the quote that not just Albert Einstein, heck, Hippocrates said something similar. He said, "The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know." And those of you who have, pursued education, especially higher education, know that it seems that, okay, this is great information, my knowledge is building, but then there's so much more you realize that you just don't know. So you keep pursuing that knowledge. Never stop learning, because that gives you a much more balanced 40,000 foot view of what it takes to be truly healthy. So, I mean, you've got people out there who say, oh, hey, well, my nutritionist said that this is all I need, just the four basic food groups. I don't need supplements. I mean, this is not a total health picture. There's so many things wrong with that. Now, I'm going to have Carl share a story that he told me about yesterday. Carl, are you up to it? You're muted.
Yeah, if I can recall it, sure.
Okay, go for it.
I mean, I guess as it relates to what you're talking now, one of my student athletes I was actually, every time I get a chance to speak to my team about the subjects that Mary Esther is talking about, it helps them, it helps me with my training regimen to include a foundation in nutritional knowledge. So I can't remember the specific subject I was talking about a couple of days ago, but one of the student athletes commented and said, my mother's a nutritionist and she doesn't believe in supplements. They're all bad. And I think one of the comments I made, well, I would agree that there are some supplements that aren't very good, but to cast a net over all of them to say they're all bad, I let her know that that probably is not correct. There are some good ones out there, but her mother was telling her that she can get enough from the the food that we get in our stores. So whether they're from farmers markets or grocery stores or whatever. But my comment to this student athlete was, well, what about the farm that's as many as 2 miles away that uses fertilizers and pesticides, and Mother Nature's winds can blow some of the toxic residue onto these vegetables that are growing in the farmer's fields? How much do you think that might benefit you if that's all you're getting your nutrients, quote unquote, from? So these are the kinds of things that I help try to address with students, because I think, the third bullet point here, limited and outdated knowledge, it's misleading. So I just do whatever I can to let them know another perspective.
Excellent. I'm glad people are saying things like that out there. We have to help people realize that the information that they've accumulated may not be the entire truth and may be, just incomplete and sometimes downright false, sometimes completely opposing what the established proven science has shown us. So thank you for sharing that, Carl. It was great to have you share that with me yesterday, and I just wanted you to share that with everyone else. Thank you. So yeah, the educational system has been compromised from what I can see, and this has resulted in misinformed professionals and laypersons alike. So there is an undercurrent that has kind of shown me that we are not we're not really the I have to be careful, you guys. I think the ones who are here have heard this from me before, so you know what I'm trying to say. But for you out there, if you haven't already realized it, the whole system is not designed to help humanity maintain their health and optimize their highest human potential. So this kind of work that I've been doing all these years, looking at the science and then looking at what other people are saying out there, I just cringe. And it's really sad that they don't have the whole picture. It takes a while to gather the right information. I try to summarize that kind of information for people here on this channel so that they become more alert and more discriminatory of the information that they're taking in, and to always question and to know how to distinguish the difference between factual data that's been actually proven over time and established as factual, kind of thing, versus what someone say someone says on an infomercial trying to sell a product, or someone who establishes themselves as an expert in this field, and I just hear them contradict the science all the time. And I'm thinking, no, no, that's not what years and years of scientific research has shown. So sometimes they don't even know because maybe they haven't even looked at that kind of data at all. So, I'm concerned about what the public is absorbing out there. And if you have health issues, then you're probably nutrient deficient. And knowing what nutrients your body needs and knowing how your body can heal itself and restore itself back toward optimal health vibrancy, then you're probably looking at the wrong information. If you're not getting the results that you need, then something is definitely missing. And sometimes it takes a while. Someone will do a consultation, and if their health isn't getting anywhere, then I have to just look at more and more details. And finally, the problem emerges. I have found that over and over again, that something is going on that the person is doing that is blocking the body's healing process and restorative processes. So this takes a bit of information. So once you know how nutrients work in the body, then all you have to do is provide your body with the right form of nutrients. There are bad supplements out there. There is bad refined, adulterated food out there that is rendered very, very non-nutritious, but also potentially very harmful. And the amount of diseases that are out here in this country and all over the world, people who are suffering from these very common diseases, I have found that when you nourish the body knows how to fix that. Okay. And this is not medicine. I'm not making medical claims here. I'm just observing when the science is applied onto the human body, nutritionally, then the body knows how to repair itself at the cell level. So this is all about structure and function. Okay, so we have to walk that fine line so that we know what to do when a problem arises. And of course, you should always check with your physician, always check with your medical doctor. Medical doctors are learning with us too. They want to know what's going on too. Sometimes politically or, other entities don't want doctors to step over certain boundaries or guidelines that are laid out for them. And so, my heart goes out to them because they do want to help, but they are sometimes their hands are tied and they can get in very bad trouble, if they step out of those boundaries. So, this is all about nourishing the body at the microcell level, and the DNA instructions know what to do to bring the body back toward optimal functioning. Okay. All right. I had to be very careful with my wording here. So you've got limited and outdated knowledge, ongoing false narratives out there, people who know they're not telling the truth. That's disinformation, or people who don't really realize they're not telling the truth. And that's misinformation, right? Or they have very terrible information that someone has spread around and has gotten so large that everyone starts believing it as the truth. That's malinformation, So people are led to all these erroneous perspectives and even beliefs. So if someone hangs on to something that someone told them and they are not open to the truth is really the victim here. There's so much that has been done to mutilate the truth. So this is what I'm all about. I dig for the truth. I dig for the factual evidence. And then when you apply that factual evidence, that science to your body, and you get the same results that the scientists did, then you've got something. You're onto something. Your health improves. And so that the scientists were right. Now there's bad science and there's good science out there. And I've covered this subject a lot in my previous video. So if you're curious about that, there's an actual video out here on my channel that you can view as well. All right, so so you start to realize just how much people and health advisors themselves have been misled and wrongly informed. So, and then there's this closed-mindedness, right? It's a real epidemic. I think that there are certain entities in the world who have worked so hard to keep humanity fearful and to the point where what they're told, they start believing. If they're told something over and over and over again, they start believing it, and so they become very closed-minded because it's very comfortable to stay within your own belief system when it comes to your health. And then when someone comes in and just throws you off track, then of course it's upsetting, and people don't like change, especially if they're in a place where their bodies aren't optimally healthy. An optimally healthy person has been known since their nervous system is functioning optimally and their hormonal system helps their glands and their, just function normally so that they respond to new ideas and respond to stress and manage stress so much more efficiently, then a person becomes more open-minded because they're more physically comfortable. So that's all about it. You nourish your body, you become physically comfortable in body and mind. And when you hear more information, you're physically able to handle it. So we've got these unwitting, life-threatening, erroneous health choices, deceptive information leading to preventable suffering, diminished lives, and early deaths. This is ruining lives. People who are led down the wrong path to their degenerative health, they're just suffering unnecessarily. And I just wish I could reach everyone out there. So this is why I ask people to share videos that are on this channel, because they're the result of many, many years of research and study and professional experience in my clients and my students and my readerships, everyone who's read my books, things like that. People are benefiting from the knowledge that I so much want to share with everyone. So, there are short and long-term solutions. One step of courage means that you will get rewarded in so many ways. If you're afraid to try a new food, just try one little bite. Just try one little piece of fruit or berries or something you haven't tried before. And the internet is there for you to research it. My books are here for you to open up and learn what you can do to protect your health out there. Okay, so I mean, I can go on and on and on, but I think I'll stop right there. Um, I just want to help everyone out there to improve their health and not be debilitated and, lead wonderful, active, creative, innovative lives and not be afraid. Courage is something that once you practice a little bit of it, then you get rewarded and you venture out and practice it a little bit more. I think the people who are here with me tonight are very courageous. They've gone through that a long time ago and they are not afraid to venture out. And this is something that you earn. You've got to take that step of courage and realize the rewards that come with it. I think everyone here tonight with me knows what I'm talking about, right, everybody?
Yes,
Yay.
yes.
Okay, good. All right, so that's what I have for you tonight. Please visit my website, holisticchoices.com, everyone, and you can see the books that I put together for you. They're not redundant. They are you will learn all about how your body works and all the nutrients your body needs and my nutritional synergy system. When you eat off of my 12 category system, there's two extra categories there. One is water and the other one is if you need a nutritional consultation. So it's really a 14 category system, but the 12 food categories, you separate out the different, especially the plant kingdom, and you will be able to have a huge array of these wonderful plant chemicals that are in the plants that are gifts to us on this earth, and your body will respond and do what it needs to repair itself and get back to normal health or optimal health functioning. So yeah, these books will teach you about the botanicals that are on the earth and what they have been found to do to benefit your health and to exercise. You don't have to be a weight trainer and be a fitness fanatic to be able to control your body fat and have lean muscle mass to help you be strong and carry on into quality longevity indefinitely. Okay. So, the True Health Mastery book is a primer for everyone who wants to be introduced to what this is all about. It'll give you a good summarization of everything. And the supplements book that I actually wrote for a friend who is a fitness trainer, a very highly qualified, very successful fitness trainer. He didn't know what supplements to recommend for his clients. So I said, okay, I'm going to put a few things together, and it ended up being a book. And so I dedicated the book to rants. All right, so here's my YouTube channel and my Rumble channel. And also, if you'd like to become a member of the True Health Mastery Institute, see, once this recording is stopped, then the members and I have much more in-depth conversations, and I get to reveal stuff that without feeling like I'm going to be censored or taken off my channel, kind of thing. So we talk about a lot of things behind the scenes as well. So I invite you to become a member. If you're a guest, then you are welcome to attend 2 free of these Friday night live calls. And after that, I ask that you decide to join so that the other members who are paying members, it's only fair to them. And also, you will learn so much more if you just get on the website, holisticchoices.com/ True Health Master Institute. You will get more information about what you get as a member. So there are so many perks and so many things. I'm here for my members. I respond, off this call to whatever needs that they might have, as long as I can. When the membership starts picking up, I hope to still be able to do that. I'm thinking maybe members, I'm addressing you now. Maybe I can be open like on a Monday morning or something, so that if anyone has any questions, I can be on the Zoom call. Anyone can drop in, and we can have short conversations or whatever you might need. So this is what I do, everyone out there, for my members. I want to be there for them. I want to help them in this journey of truly mastering their health. So if you really want to master your health, please join as a member. And also, there's for my Nutritional Synergy book, you can enroll on the Nutritional Synergy online self-paced course, and you get a certificate of completion when you're done with the course. So this is it's all at the hub, holisticchoices.com, and you'll see all the links on the side that you'll need. All right, everyone. So I'm going to say good night. Thank you for being here. And again, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's get this information out there. We need a healthy humanity. And by liking and sharing and subscribing to the channel, you are actually taking a very powerful step toward that end. All right, or that beginning, I should say. Humankind should begin to improve their health and see all the wonderful things that come with it. All right, so good night, everybody. I'm going to stop my share here. All right, so thank you for being here. See you next time. Bye-bye.